What is going on, guys? It is Garth and Yuri, and today I'm coming at you with the based UFC fighters. Now, this is pretty much just going to be all the APAC green UFC fighters. Maybe they're not necessarily based, but it kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah, I mean, if you're based, you're pretty much going to be APAC green. I mean, I guess not all the APAC green people are necessarily based, but yeah, same fucking shit. Either or, we're going to get into based and APAC green UFC fighters. Alright, starting off, I mean, this one's pretty obvious. We got Bryce Mitchell. This one doesn't really need that much explanation. If you know the UFC and you know Bryce Mitchell, I mean, like, it's pretty obviously spaced. He kind of blew up during when he dropped his first podcast on the Ark Insanity podcast, when he was talking about going fishing with, that certain painter, and before he did all the atrocities and was on meth and stuff, of course. That's what a lot of people fail to mention. That's why I feel like that whole thing was kind of stupid, because a lot of people, like, he got a lot of hate for what he said, but people didn't even, really, understand what he was saying. Like, they heard him saying, oh, I want to go fishing with this painter, right? But they didn't really, hear his whole thing and, all the other stuff. I don't think. They just kind of heard him say that and were like, oh, this guy's fucked. But he's pretty based. And he's continuing to make podcasts. I watched most of all his podcasts, and he exposes a lot of the truth on his podcast. He talks pretty based. He's also really funny sometimes too. So
Jews out that were destroying his country and turning them all into gays. They were gaying out the kids. They were queering out the women. They were queering out the dudes. They were, what our first tranny surgery.
He's also voted one of the top anti-Semites of the year by I forgot what the name of the organization is called, but I guess they basically choose a bunch of different celebrities and stuff like that, and they criticize them and say they're anti-Semitic, which a lot of them really aren't. They put Miss Rachel on there and stuff. So yeah, there's also that too. He's also voted one of the most anti-Semitic people of the year. And then along with Bryce Mitchell, we got next up AJ Cunningham. Now AJ Cunningham, he trains a lot with Bryce Mitchell. I feel like has a lot of similar ideas to Bryce Mitchell. He actually even follows me on Instagram. He likes a bunch of my posts. He likes all the APAC green posts of him and the Gartha posts. Not even just of him, just a lot of the posts I have in general. Posts with Gene Silva getting knocked out and stuff like that. So yeah, he definitely is based. He arguably is honestly probably more based than Bryce Mitchell, but he's not really as big of a name, so I don't know. He's probably more based, but Bryce Mitchell is also sort of more based because he has more reach, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. And then Marvin Vettori is also based. Marvin Vettori, he's if you follow him on Twitter, I don't even follow these people on Twitter, but I still see some of the stuff they say. And yeah, some of the stuff he was saying on Twitter was definitely based. I don't but you have to put it up on the screen. I don't really want to repeat it, but he's definitely a noticer. I honestly don't really know that much outside of that, but just from seeing some of the stuff I've seen him tweet, he's definitely based, and he's definitely a noticer. So, and he definitely has not received any money from APAC. And then next up, one of the only women I really know of so far, because I honestly don't really pay that much attention to women, and I don't really know if there really is that many based women. But we got Michelle Montague. You may not know who she is. She only has one fight in the UFC. She's definitely going to be big in the UFC, though. I feel like she's kind of like Kayla Harrison. She's pretty similar to Kayla Harrison. I think she's really dominant on the ground. And she's getting a lot better, too. So she's just Jack, too. And I've followed her on Instagram and stuff, and she's putting in work. So yeah, I don't know. It's not the Glazer, but she definitely is based. She liked the APAC reel I posted of her on my Instagram. And then her comment at farewell, there's two of them. First one she commented on, and then she was like, "Oh, this is kind of weird," but it was funny. It was kind of the question mark emoji, but then also the laughing emoji, and she thought it was funny, but also obviously kind of weird. And it's funny because Sean Strickland actually liked that comment on that post. So there's that, but I made also just a separate APAC reel of her, and she liked that and commented. So yeah, she definitely doesn't take money from APAC. She's definitely based. And then speaking of Strickland, he's also based. Now, some people might argue he's not really that based because before he was supporting Trump and stuff like that. He's obviously kind of a goy slave, but I mean, a lot of people that now are like based in noticers like supported Trump before because that was kind of like the illusion of Trump. Trump kind of made a lot of people think that he was actually going to be like one of these like actual America First presidents and stuff like that, but he obviously isn't. So yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people that fell for that, and like a lot of people now, like Bryce and Strickland that are based, they've realized that now they're noticing, and now I mean they're talking about some of that stuff. So definitely Bryce more than Strickland, but yeah, definitely got to mention Strickland too. And then next up, we got Quinlan Salkeld. Quinlan Salkeld is definitely based. He likes a bunch of my stuff on Instagram. He's like my DMs and stuff like that. He beat Yanel Moose. I even actually stood up on a story one time when he posted he was going to New York, and I said, watch out for Yanel Moose in the tunnels. Because I just kind of assumed, like, as a joke, I kind of assumed, Yanel Moose was the predominant type of person in the region he represents in the UFC. I later found out he actually isn't, but it's actually like Muslim or something. But Moose represents Israel in the UFC for whatever reason, and so he beat him, beat Jubilee. He's beat Nasrat, of course. He's the minority killer, and he's also like Earthen Warrior. He even posted on a story a picture of him drinking a White Monster, saying they should sponsor him. So yeah, I think he definitely gets the meme. He definitely fucks with like Gartha memes. He fucks with all the memes, but yeah, I don't know, he's definitely based. And then we got Bilal Muhammad. Now, some of you guys may not like this one. Bilal may not be based to a lot of you guys, but I don't know. I think Bilal's pretty based, man. Like he's fighting for his people. Like I know, although you guys may not all be in support of his people, especially with some of you guys like having his people come to countries and stuff like that. And but you gotta also understand, like, part of the reason that's happening is the people that we are all against for the most part. And for that reason, for him standing up against them and all this shit, I mean, I feel like he's pretty based. I mean, he obviously doesn't take money from AIPAC, regardless of if he's based or not. So, yeah, definitely got to put him in the AIPAC green. I'd say he's pretty based as well, but I don't know. Some of you guys might disagree with that one. And then Renato Moicano, he's based for sure. Like the student was talking about this, he's always talking about like corrupt fucking politicians. He's always talking about like money and fucking fucked up shit. Like I don't know. He's always like he's just always noticing shit, and he's always like exposing the truth. The only thing is he does, I think, probably support Gene Silva because he's Brazilian. But I mean, can't really. I don't know. I mean. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously Gene Silva's a goy, but he's a good goy for fucking Israel. But, other than supporting Gene Silva, which I feel like you can't really hate him Moicano that much because, it's a fellow Brazilian, and obviously, like, a lot of people don't really care that much about politics and stuff like that, so, yeah, Renato Moicano is definitely based. We get Kyle Daukaus. Of course, he's based because he knocked out Michel Pereira, the Israel Glazer. So, and I also follow Kyle Daukaus on Instagram, and some of the stuff he likes and posts, he seems really based. The next up, also for like the same reason, I guess you can kind of put Diego Lopez. He knocked out Gene Silvestein. And then you could also kind of put Bernard St-Denis because he submitted Rizzo Rufi. And all these guys, Michelle, Gene, Rufi, they all are like known supporters of Israel. At least like the only ones I know of in the UFC. They're all like publicly have stated like they support like that while the stuff that's going on is happening. So yeah, I feel like you could definitely include Kyle, Diego, and BSD just because the people they defeated. But I don't really know that much honestly about like BSD and Diego and how based they are, but they seem pretty based. I know Kyle definitely seems pretty based from the stuff I've seen on Instagram. So, yeah. I think that's going to be it for now. I guess there's a few honorable mentions. You could say, what's his name? Fuck. Oh, the guy that just fought Wellmaker. Ethan Ewing. I feel like Ethan Ewing is an honorable mention. He liked me and Agartha John Pork's reel of him, Agartha reel of him. So I don't know. I don't really know if he's based or not. Like I don't really know. Like I don't really know that too much about him, to be honest. But the fact that you liked the Agartha reel, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if he's based. He seems pretty cool. So I feel like MVP Michael Venom Page is another honorable mention. But again, I don't really know too much about him. But he does seem pretty based from what I do know about him. Another honorable mention is Robert Valentin. This dude, he doesn't really have any fights in the UFC. I think he has like 2 or 3 maybe. And I think he's lost both of them. Or I don't know how many he's had. But I don't know if he's even won a fight in the UFC. And he's only had a couple. So yeah, not many people really know who he is. But he's definitely based from, because I follow him on Instagram. Some of the stuff I've seen him like on Instagram is crazy. And I can say for sure he is definitely based. So yeah, wanted to throw him in here too. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people. Maybe I'll make another video in the future or something. If I am forgetting some people, if you guys know any UFC fighters that are based, any UFC fighters that are APAC green, let me know. I can make some APAC reels about them. I can keep the great UFC noticing continuing. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.